with the nervous system. So what is a neuron, right? A neuron are cells, well, neurons are cells within the nervous system that send signals to other nerve cells, muscle, or gland cells. So I have a visual here on this right-hand side of the neuron. So portions of the neuron is the dendrite here, which is responsible for receiving messages. So the dendrite receives messages from these portions at the edge when they receive usually, chemical signals from other neurons. And so it will go in here, and then that's where the information will be processed. So the next portion is the cell body or soma. And so this is like really that center portion here. It contains a nucleus in the center. It also has Golgi bodies, ER, and other structures that are found in a normal cell. And the main function here is to for chemical processing of these signals to send, chemical processing of molecules to send a signal down to the next portion, which is the axon. So the axon is responsible for carrying signals away from the cell body to these terminal buttons here. And as you guys probably remember from last week, there is information about the action potential, and that's necessary in order to trigger signals, and having those different potentials in order to do so with depolarization and hyperpolarization. I will not be going into that portion in as much detail as last week, but if you wanted to refer to, the specifics of the channels opening and such like that, we have our other video fully on the nervous system. So feel free to check that out as well. But surrounding the axon, surrounding the axon is the myelin sheath, which its main function is to insulate the nerve cell to speed up the conduction of nerve impulses along the axon. So jumping through these little portions. And then the axon terminal, which is towards the end, is responsible for transmitting signals to other neurons. So once, the signal is put down here, then at the end of this terminal and the terminal buttons, that's where signals are being pushed out to other neurons, which would receive those signals through their dendrites as well. And also, a term to know is that the gap in between the end of the axon terminal and then the beginning of a dendrite is called the synapse. And that's usually where all of these chemical molecules are laying around to induce another signal in the next dendrite. Or they're reuptaked by the cell or the neuron that has given that signal in the instance when they want to end the signal. So yeah, and then we are going into the next portion, which are the different types of neurons. So the sensory neurons are responsible for retrieving information from the environment and sending these signals to your central nervous system. Then the motor neurons are responsible for retrieving information from other neurons and sending information to your muscles, glands, and organs. So this picture, I gave an example of the motor neurons. So the muscles and muscle fibers are here. This is just a diagram for that. And then the interneurons connect information from one neuron to the other, and it's only found in the central nervous system.